A win is a win.
I think they just want to make sure you get your full 3-hour entertainment window.
I told you, I was nervous.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus Podcast. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. The Bills picking up the win 31-19 over the Saints. Never a doubt in this one. Buffalo moving to 4-0 to start the season, their best start since 2020. Mike, we're going to talk about the defense and the poor offense at points and the penalties and the bad moments. But we got to start with the fact that they won.
Can I do it?
Go right ahead.
Tonight works. But how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Oh my gosh. No.
No.
It's no.
He doesn't understand that phrase.
I don't know if I get it.
I know you don't. Okay, but
We'll put that on hold.
Yeah.
Let's start with this. All right, positives. They're 4-0. They found a way. Josh Allen did Josh Allen things. Cole Bishop made a spectacular
Huge play. Yeah.
Right? The poor punter is a target, but it has worked to the Bills' benefit, and they got a break with a call that was really, really close to being a touchdown. All that being said, when they needed it, Josh Allen made a play. When they needed it, the defense came up with some plays, I'll say, and the Saints played really hard. The biggest thing is they took the same game plan that the Dolphins used. They got guys on the move. They were dinking and dunking. They were running the ball more effectively than the Dolphins did, kept the ball away from them, and stayed in the game, which is alarming.
Should I be positive first or negative?
we'll go positive first because
Okay.
they did win, and then we'll work our way into the.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be a quick work, but yes.
Yeah. I like the fact that this Bills team has found ways to win, which we've talked about in all these other podcasts that we've done and on the YouTube channel. But the fact of they've done it with, this was a complete balanced game, I thought, for the most part, offensively. Yes, there were lulls. That's the ebbs and flows of a game. But when it mattered most, you got to see Josh Allen do Josh Allen things, fakes out a linebacker, makes a huge play, perfect throw to Dalton Kincaid. Like, even on defense, for as bad as it was, guys stepped up. James Cook is now officially underpaid. He has been the bell cow of this offense and a guy that they can lean on when things aren't going well. So I like the fact that they have shown, which you guys have always stressed to me about the running game, the ability to win in multiple ways. That's what I can see with this Bills team.
Yeah. All right. More stuff that was good. I thought Khalil Shakir, in terms of that touchdown to start.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was. Hey, I tweeted
Unbelievable.
out, but his contact balance should be studied.
It needs to be.
So
It's
he's
incredible.
he's had a lot of yards after catch. I think that's number one on his list. He had that big one in L.A.
The Pittsburgh one.
That
The one in LA,
that was
though.
the playoff game, right?
That was the
Yeah,
playoff.
That
yeah,
was
that's
sweet.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, he just wasn't going to be stopped.
And the one was
Yeah.
it was the linebacker. Like he's not shaking off small corners.
Yeah.
Like he's shaking off everybody. It was an unbelievable play. Nice block by Shavers. Like all of that. Like that is when, again, especially early on, I always think about first few drives. They're very scripted. The Bills have scored an opening touchdown in all 4 games. That is good coaching. That is Joe Brady preparing these guys in those scripted plays being off to a great start, and then Shakir makes a big play. They don't really have a downfield threat, okay? Dawson Knox was apparently their only downfield threat.
Really?
But to give them, to have it be an explosive play on a backwards, a 2-yard pass is a huge advantage in what Shakir brings to this offense.
And when we talk about complimentary football, what's the defense do? They let him walk right down the field and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And this crowd was into it at the beginning of the game. I thought
Absolutely.
the place was loud. Everybody was having fun. The offense looked great at the beginning. The thing about the defense is the numbers do lie. I don't know the exact number of Saints yardage. I know it was high in the run game,
Yes.
limited in the passing game to the end. It's not about the total numbers. They gave up 19 points,
Yes.
right? 100 yards until the end of the game
Yes.
in the passing game. It's the fact that they don't get off the field. They do dumb stuff. They do not set the edge. And Spencer Rattler, as they're running up the middle on a few of those plays, nobody's anywhere near him. They made Spencer Rattler look like a starting decent quarterback in the NFL.
I thought we were going to stay positive.
I'm so confused. Yeah, I thought we were going to be positive, too.
I was like, Khalil Shakir, big part of the offense. Mike's like, yeah, but the defense stunk.
My only point was you said they scored the touchdown, and then when the offense was going,
Yes.
right away they gave
The
up the
opposite
score.
of complimentary. It was
Exactly.
Discomplimentary. Uncomplimentary.
Rude.
All right, I'm done with the negative. We'll go back
let's
positive.
go.
We'll get there.
I was going to say, there's plenty to talk about in that way. James Cook, though, was someone else. You had tweeted out that James Cook, it feels like he's just so close to once again breaking off that big long run for a touchdown. And multiple moments where it's just that shoestring tackle. But he has been so dynamic. And you joke that he is underpaid, but what he has added once again to this Bills offense. I think last year was really a breakout year for him.
Great point.
And then this year, I feel like he's even pushing it that much more.
He's a better running back than he was last year. His
Yes.
vision is better.
Yep.
His patience is better. And Dan, you guys are both down on the field a lot. It is close on a lot of those
It's
runs.
it's so
that I'm waiting.
close.
It's going to happen. He's going to have multiple long touchdown runs because he just that patience and vision is so important for a running back. And I thought he had a good year last year running the ball. He's 1,000 yards,
Correct.
which is good
Yeah.
to the last game. I think he's been better than that this year, and now he set a team record, 8 straight games
8
with
straight.
a touchdown.
Yeah.
Franchise record. So I think he's been great.
I feel like I've noticed a shift in him also. Maybe it is from getting paid, but he seems happier. He seems freed up in that way where we've seen him be more emotional. Like, look, I'm not saying the man is
Yeah.
like
A little more
joyous,
demonstrative.
but he is acting where you're just like, oh, I see James Cook smiling. I see James Cook happy. I see him like celebrating with his teammates in a way that I think he's been a little bit more guarded in years past.
I think I'm seeing a change in the Bills' offensive philosophy. There are very few. Ray Davis got 1 carry today.
Yeah.
James Cook is on the field now more than he has been before. I know some people, my friends, have messaged me like the fact that they have made an effort, they paid him, and they're like, well, now we're going to use you.
Yeah.
Like, that is what I'm noticing, that James Cook is on the field a whole lot more. Ty Johnson still comes in on some third downs, but on fourth down, it's back to James Cook, and Ray Davis has really kind of lost all of the few snaps and carries that he was getting last year.
Yeah.
They're all going back to James Cook, which is what you should do. James Cook has emerged. I remember at training camp, we're talking about there's probably 7 or 8 running backs that you would pay over him. There's probably 1 or 2 running backs that you would take over him right now.
He's been better than Barkley, and he's been better than Henry. No
Yeah.
doubt those two guys. to
Jonathan
begin
Taylor probably is the only guy.
that
Yeah.
is right there with him. And can I be negative for one brief second? They should have had him in on that third down play when they handed
Yes.
it to Ty Johnson and then screwed it up
I
on
know.
fourth down.
He's been like a better short yardage back than everybody.
Yes.
His yards and ability to turn negative plays when he's contacted behind the line of scrimmage. He was great at it last year. He's even better at it now. Like, he doesn't take those.
Yeah.
He doesn't take a 3-yard loss and try and make it and then go backwards and make it a 10-yard loss.
Yeah.
He does this where he's hitting the backfield 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and then turns into a 1-2-yard gain. That's huge.
There's so many times where I'm like, there's nothing there.
Yep.
And he manages to do exactly that. I'm not saying it's these tremendous runs, but at the same point, he
Yep.
can make something out of nothing. And it does bring up the conversation of, is he someone that you would go to on third down? Because it's always been Ty Johnson's your third down back. But how explosive he has been, it brings up the conversation of, is this the direction the Bills want to move? Obviously, they paid him. Do you think you could see that moving forward?
Especially in the circumstances like I described. It was 3rd and 2.
Yep.
Like, you
Yeah.
could run him twice and get the first down or get close enough and then Josh runs it in. Instead, they go backwards on the first play and then they try the little forward pass. So, yes, I would have him in there more. Maybe 3rd and 9 when it's more of an obvious passing play
Yeah.
and you like Ty, you like him in the pass protection better. But, no, I would have him out there more.
I agreed. Even there was the run that he had. He bounced it outside over there.
I was gonna say, you're
It was in
pointing.
that end zone. But he got stopped like at the 4, and then I think he got to like the 2 again, and he got up and was like, I'm not coming off the field. Like, that's a spot where in years past,
Yeah.
they've given it to Ty Johnson. They've given it to James. They've given
Or-
it to Ray Davis.
Or just Josh runs
Right.
it in.
Yeah.
And like there has been, like I said, when you talk about like the change in his demeanor, I see a change in the philosophy of we're going to let him be on the field a lot more, especially when they need it.
Jenna, I was thinking about this. He's the second best player on the team right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could say, obviously Dion is a very accomplished left tackle, depending on how you
We'll
want
get
to
to the O-line
value
in a
that.
bit.
But I think James Cook's the second best player. I don't see
Yeah,
anybody
I
better
agree.
than him right now.
Well, that brings up the first best player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is, obviously Josh
Cole
Allen.
Bishop.
No, I think for Josh, like once again, I sat next to Mike the whole game. You had tweeted out how that scramble for the first down was Josh putting on the Superman cape, because a lot of this game had a couple nice passes. I actually thought it was funny early on because he had joked how earlier in the week Josh did, like, I hear you guys want me to like push the ball down the field. And early on in the game, I'm like, he's taking some looks. He's taking some chances.
Can I reference the James Cook run? When, so we're in the press box. It's usually me who just blurts something out. Mama Jenna, Josh starts to move towards blocking.
I thought I saw that at the corner of my camera.
And
Yep.
Jenna goes,
Josh!
and it was kind of loud.
It was kind of loud,
Which is-
and it was also kind of quiet in the press box, so I definitely...
And I laugh because it's usually me. I'm like, I'll say something.
You know,
He thought about it.
He absolutely thought
Young
about
Josh throws it. Throws it
Oh,
shoulder.
no
my
doubt.
God. No doubt.
Jenna
I
was like, do not do that, Joshua.
Josh.
Patrick Allen, do not block
I was
anybody.
like, Josh. He did not. But yes, that.
And
that
then,
was
and then
ridiculous.
after that great run, perfect
Perfect ball.
call.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joe Brady, I'll let Dan address a little bit of this in the Joe Brady situation from today, but perfect call, great throw, touchdown. I mean, that was great. That was a quick touchdown at that point.
That drive, the drive before, they ran the ball. That was the James Cook drive, ran the ball. Josh had a couple of nice passes, but they really got the ground game going. They come out of that, and they throw a couple of passes that just, the offensive line wasn't great today.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh, what is going on here? Like, why are we calling these pass plays when the running game is working? That's what Joe Brady has been so good at, is just hitting the repeat button. Like, fine, if you're not going to stop it, we're just going to run it 3, 4, 5 times. And then we're sitting there going, why are you passing it? And then Josh throws a perfect dime on a perfectly called
Beautiful.
play to,
Yeah.
to Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah. No, that was really pretty, where you're like, and that is a route that I feel like we've seen before, and credit to Dalton Kincaid, another game with a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, he came down with it. What?
Very quiet game.
He did.
I agree, but he had the touchdown.
He
so.
had 0 targets. They
That's
threw
what's so-
deep to him down the sidelines. The deep ball's not great. 1 interception,
know.
1 to Dawson Knox that wasn't good, 1 to Kincaid that was out of bounds. And then I'll consider that a deep ball. I don't know what the total distance in the air was.
Yeah.
And that was a perfect dime
But
right
that's
there.
the conundrum in this game, is that I thought guys made plays where I'm filming it on the sidelines and I'm like, oh, that's a great play. And then I'm also sitting there like Trey White, but had a couple nice tackles. He also had 2 terrible holding calls early on in the game,
Yeah.
where it's like Trey's not having a good game. And then it's like Deion Walker flashed. Like, I think he's going to be a really big player. And then you didn't notice him at times. Like, it was this up and down, inconsistent game that kind of made you pull your hair out at times. Like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
is this happening? When other times you're like, what a phenomenal play. And then something afterwards would happen that the Saints would get momentum and get right back in the game.
One of my things that I talked about earlier in the week is, like, sometimes the Bills like to play with their food. And this was a perfect example of me of why it's
Credit
so
to you.
important to have an early tone setting play. They had the touchdown, but then they gave it up. And when you give other teams hope is a hell of a drug. We know that. I mean, the Dolphins were able to stay in the game. Obviously, the Saints stayed in this game. Like, I think it's one of those things where you are the more mature, you are the more talented, you are the more composed team. Why don't you show that earlier on?
They didn't break their will.
No.
They did not break their
They
will.
never broke their will.
But there was a stretch in there where Josh took a sack, then there was a penalty. Josh took
There were-
another
and
sack.
lot
then
of
there was
penalties.
another penalty.
Yeah.
I think they may have had 9 penalties, and it won't show up as a big yardage game because a lot of them happened right over there within the 5-yard line. So it was like they moved back half a yard.
Yeah, like a
but there were
millimeter.
so many
Yeah.
bad penalties. The substitution, Sean talked about it. Like, they couldn't get packages in correctly. They had, the wrong personnel in. They were burning timeouts in really questionable spots. It was the farthest thing from a clean game. To finish the positive side, it's nice when you're a team that your C game is still better enough to beat the Saints A game. That's what happened here today.
Yeah, you can overcome.
Yes.
And look, winning in the NFL is very challenging.
Thanks, Sean.
I do think that is the case.
They get
but
paid too.
They do get paid on that side of the ball as well.
Correct,
But I
Josh.
do think there's a lot of fear in Bills fans' mind of, like, you're able to win over these bad teams, but are you going to be able to put it together when you need to play a really, really good team?
Yeah, their defense just is flat out not good enough.
It's not good.
And I know they'll have some changes, right? Eventually. They are playing without Matt Milano. They are playing without Ed Oliver. At some point, you would think that the two guys on suspension are going to contribute right away and get opportunities there. But for anybody to think that this roster on the defensive side is good enough is lunacy. That's people that aren't looking at what you're looking at on the field. I'm sorry. They need more out of these guys. And we make the thing about the Greg Rousseau stuff. He's not doing anything. Made one play in the run game, no pressures today. Nothing. Joey Bosa did get the one big pressure, but the rest of the game, not a ton. I just don't see anything out of the pass rush. They drafted Landon Jackson. He's not even active in games, and he's a third-round pick. They were hoping he could come in and give them something. The defense, again, this is against a mediocre Miami team and a bad Saints team, and they struggled to get them off the field.
I also want to say this, because there are already comments, and there are probably people right now liking, commenting, and subscribing, and the comments are fire Sean. Okay? This isn't defensive lapses. Like, there aren't guys running open. There are guys that are covered, and they are guys that are missing tackles. Joey Bosa missed a ton of tackles today that should have been tackles for a loss and didn't. There are multiple guys. The run for the touchdown over here in this end zone, 5 tackles missed.
Well, Trey White, Taylor Rapp, and Taron Johnson. No, I'm saying is we're not talking about Deion Walker here.
Well,
we're
that's
talking about
saying.
the core defensive players.
I know, but when I look at an uncoached team or a poorly coached team, I'm like, these guys are running wide open. They're not wide open. Make plays. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Tackle. Like, these are fundamental things that the players aren't executing.
So it's not a bad recipe. It's bad ingredients. Is that what you're saying?
The ingredients are fine. They're just stale right now. Like, they're expired ingredients.
How long are we going to go down this cooking analogy?
Keep going, Jenna.
No,
It's like you need an air fryer, and it's a smoker. I don't know.
It's players who should know better and be better than that.
Yeah.
I thought Terrell Bernard made a couple big plays. They used him in the blitz.
Yes.
One
Yes,
time got
yeah.
to him, forced that pass. Another time, big pressure, got the ball out of his hands. Again, like I said, be great to see Milano back there. Dorian Williams, he's not going to like the tape of Spencer Rattler just using him on that move.
Man.
He did, after the Cole Bishop interception, he lit that dude up. But it was a penalty.
Yeah.
But it was a nice hit. It was a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
But they need more out of those guys. And Dorian Strong got some snaps out there. I would like to see a little more of Dorian Strong, I think, at least at this point. So we'll see.
And credit the one play they made, big play they made, is Cole Bishop. To stay home on that trick play, that's not something that they didn't see that on film. That's just reading and reacting and being a dude. Like, that's a play.
Be an athlete.
Be an athlete.
He was an athlete on that play.
Yep.
That was and I talked to him afterward, and he was basically name, rank, and serial number. Like, he knows the way he has played.
Yeah.
He can't be sitting out there. I don't think it's really in him to be that way anyhow. He's a pretty introverted guy in that way. He's not going, I did this, I did that. He's like, I'm doing my part, because it hasn't been great for him.
Correct.
That was, I asked him if he had seen the Micah Hyde play in the playoffs. And he's like, who was that against? And I said, New England players. Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Kind of reminded me of just the athleticism part of it when Micah went up and got that ball and picked it off.
Yeah.
That was as athletic of a play as we've seen on this
Instincts.
defense. Well, that was what I said to him, too, about he's had to focus on knowing where he's got to be, this and that. And at that point, instincts took over, his athleticism took over, and it was a tremendous play.
I'm happy for him, because it has been a rough go at moments for him to get a play like that, which you had always joked about how, like, a big play doesn't have to happen in the fourth quarter. It can also happen earlier on in the game. But that was huge for this team heading into halftime.
Yeah, Saints were about to double dip. They were going to get the ball coming out of halftime, 14-10 game to make that play. And, like, they're driving. They're carving up the Bills' defense. They're just running the ball down their throat. No real answer. They try and get tricky and get cute with it, and Cole Bishop makes a huge play. That's what this defense has done time and time again over the last 2 years. I just don't know if, like, I'm sitting there on the sidelines going, I don't know if that's a formula you can consistently go back to. It's like when like the Warriors, they're just going to shoot all these threes. Well, then when the threes don't go in, what are you doing? You got to be able to have something else. You guys talk about offensively being able to win multiple ways. Defensively, you can't rely on a forced fumble. You can't rely on the pick at the end of the game or end of drives. I don't know. I would like to see more consistency, more pass rush. Spencer Rattler felt like he had all kinds of time. It was frustrating. And again, positive, Cole Bishop, hell of a play.
Yeah.
Does it worry you how much this team has invested in defensive line, and it still seems like there are moments throughout a game, many moments, where there's just nothing?
Yes. Oh, it's the people working here at the stadium. You're hearing just an announcement being made. Yes, it worries me a ton. Now, not having Ed Oliver on the field is big, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But they're not getting a pass rush. They're not – I'm not saying they should full out dominate these games. They got to be better than this. They did not impose their will on the Saints at all. The Saints came out as a angry, embarrassed team, and I said to Jenna, I tweeted it during the game, into the third quarter. I was like, the Bills don't look like the better football team. I'm not saying the Saints were better. They just looked about the same, and you're 16-point favorites for a reason against this team. So on that D-line, no, not impactful enough. We're looking for these little flashes. Guys got to be whooping another man. Daquan made a couple of plays today, which was good to see. They just need more out of that. That's what I'm saying is maybe Ogunjobi, maybe Hoyt coming in. But I'm just not seeing it.
Jenna, this is what Mike likes to call a hindsight win.
Yes. Yeah.
Got the win.
Yeah.
Again, found a way. Poor Cam Johnston. Holy cow. I'm very happy his leg is still
That
in
looked
one piece.
painful.
And got out there to hold.
Unbelievable.
He had to be in pain. And we saw him afterward, or I did. He was going in, it looks like, for an x-ray.
Yeah.
That would have been my guess. I'm not 100% sure what it was. But he's taken a beating. And back-to-back weeks, right, where they've gotten injuring the kicker or hitting the punter, roughing the punter, where it's a 15-yard penalty, which was a big play. Oh, and then, by the way, the touchdown called back. That would have given the Saints the lead.
Yeah.
It would have been their first lead in
the
4
season.
games this season.
Yeah.
And the call was
It
close.
was very funny. I don't know if you guys saw it in the press box. The touchdown goes in. Bills are celebrating, saying it's not good. And then the Saints at the same time, simultaneously, while they're both looking at the same Jumbotron, they're both celebrating. And I'm so confused as to what is going on. It goes to review, and it was overturned because it was originally called a touchdown.
Correct.
I didn't know if there was going to be enough to overturn it. Massive play. As I tweeted out, never a doubt, easy third down stop.
I said that it is always helpful. They had another play on third down where Chris Olave dropped one.
Bobbled it. Running,
And that would have been running free for a first down. Actually, the third down numbers ended up being not terrible
But you said
for the Bills.
these numbers are going to lie.
They do lie a little bit. They can't get off the field. Hey, Jenna, I was going to ask you this. Do you think it's harder for this defense in this way? They don't give up big plays. They don't give up 70-yarders over the top. That's not who they are. They are so focused on that it is 1,000 paper cuts basically against this defense. And I think it makes it look almost worse in a way, that it's like play after play after play, as opposed to if Chris Olave got behind a guy, it's easy even for us. Oh, we blame that corner. He didn't stay with him, and it's a play, and it's going down the field. And instead, it's more like a beaten up. It's a bunch of body punches instead of a knockout punch. And I think it's got to be tough for them. Like they say, we only gave up 19 points, but you were keeping your own quarterback off the field.
I would imagine it's demoralizing because it's like, you're not getting the crap kicked out of you over the top, but at the same point, it's, okay, here's 8 yards here, here's this here, here's that here, where it's like, you have to wait for your kill shot on defense, which obviously there in this game was the Cole Bishop interception. It has been a big play by Terrell Bernard before that. But, I would imagine it's frustrating. And you're right, it looks bad because it's like it makes it seem like they can't stop anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the takeaway for a lot of fans.
And it puts pressure on this offense.
Yeah.
That's what's tough.
So that's why I say in this case, there was a big interception that stopped a touchdown. There was a touchdown called back on replay. So they gave up 19, but very easily it could have been more.
Yeah.
And this is against the Saints. And I know you guys know the schedule. Like Baker's coming in here. Mahomes is coming in here.
Yeah,
And they're going to
Jalen
eventually
Hurts.
play Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And New England put up 40 plus. I know, but they did.
Yeah.
And they'll
We get to
come in
talk about
here.
Diggs this week. Can't wait.
Diggs went over 100 in the game.
I've kind of forgotten about him.
Same.
Well, he's had a lot going on this offseason.
That's fair.
Yep.
That is fair. But they're 4-0.
Yeah.
Best start since 2020. Career win number 90 for Sean McDermott with the Bills. They're in a good spot. That's why it's so hard, because it's like they are in a good place.
Also, if you made it this far in the video and the podcast, appreciate it. But this is what, and I don't want it to be, oh, you guys are negative. The Bills are a Super Bowl contending team. We are nitpicking. That's what happens when you've reached this caliber of a team.
I just took off my shoes.
You just shrunk like 2 inches.
I just took off my shoes.
Kind of nice for you and me when she's a little shorter, because she towers over me sometimes.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we are in this Bills run. Like, where they are,
Yeah.
they get looked at with a fine-tooth comb of, can this be sustainable? Where are they, and how does this worry about the postseason? Because the regular season hasn't been a problem.
Well, what do we always say? It's usually the problems in the regular season are the things that end your season in the playoffs.
Can I use the analogy? So
Yes, great.
Jeremy White,
Yeah.
WGR,
Oh, yes.
friend of the pod, was talking before the game, and I heard him say a good golf analogy. If you guys watch the Ryder Cup, which the U.S. ended up coming back but not winning, he said regular season football is like stroke play. And stroke play, if you don't know golf, is just add up your scores, whereas match play is by hole. Each one, important. Each shot, and then you move to the next one. And he said the playoffs are more like match play. And I think that is a great analogy, because Josh Allen alone with this team, that's why they're going to win 13 games, because they're good enough. In the playoffs, you can't have that game. Even like today, it's going to be against a better team. That's why we look at it for this standard the Bills need in a playoff game, because if you don't do it then, this is not a 7-game series. You guys know all this.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one game, and when it doesn't happen. And they have played the last 2 years in the playoffs, not turned the ball over, won
lost.
the turnover battle, and lost to the Chiefs twice. So you do all the things you do in the regular season, and sometimes in the playoffs, that's still not good enough. So I don't think it's being negative, because I'm guaranteeing most people sitting at home are like, what's wrong with this defense? Joe Brady doesn't know what he's doing. Sean McDermott should be fired.
But I do think two things can be true.
Oh, there she goes.
Because
We got to get you a T-shirt.
you can be frustrated by a lot of what you saw today, and also the Bills are perfect in September.
Yes.
Green Bay Packers lost to the Browns,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, Green Bay's really good. And boom, they lose to the Browns. Like, the Bills have avoided this. This is how you're going to get the 1 seed. This is, you
Hindsight
win
wins.
all these games. Hindsight wins, where you just look back and go, I don't care how they beat the Ravens. They beat them. On the scoreboard, doesn't matter.
Still can't believe they won.
I know. So, but they did, and they won this game. And I'm saying this, it ended up being, 31-19. So, but it was close. But they found a way. They found a way against the Dolphins, and they took care of the Jets. New England's going to be an interesting game, and that could put them, if they come out and play great next week, and they're 5-0 and have beaten everybody in the division, nobody's going to give a crap about how they looked against the Saints or the Ravens or the Dolphins.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just going to be 5-0, 3-0 in the division, and rolling.
Yeah.
My meter for being concerned is somewhere between Dolphins and Saints. I was very concerned about the Saints game, like I said.
Oh,
Just thought
okay.
it was weird. Not that worried about the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
But I'm more worried than what I was against the Dolphins. Dolphins was 0%.
Dolphins was 0%. 1 to 10. 10 being you are very worried.
3.72. This
4.
place at night, this crowd.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. And it would be nice to see Milano back, Ed back. I don't know if they're going to get that. It would
Yeah.
be nice to see that in this case.
Real quick, do you
yeah.
want to address Greg Rousseau?
I already said it. He didn't do anything. He didn't put the pressure on. They need more out of him. And I know it is, I did say that at the beginning of the year, and I'm hopeful that happens.
Shoes back on.
Regardless of what I thought before the year, this team needs him to be better. I was thinking about the
AJ
guys.
Epinesa has more sacks
Yes.
than Greg Rousseau. And I do not want to hear these teams are getting the ball out quick. That's not some new novel concept that teams are doing. You still have to impact plays, even if
Even if you are, you could be forcing him to get the ball out of his hands quicker. They're not. And Bosa was not good enough today either, though he did make a play in that game. They're not getting it from the outside. I don't see anything impactful from Solomon when he's in the game. I'm not seeing the pressures. It was good to see AJ get it. That's why I say you draft Landon Jackson, you would hope that maybe he can get on the field. Maybe he'll get an opportunity. Honestly, they need pressure from the outside, or they're just going to wait on Michael Hoyt to come in.
But the fact
so
that
far it's not good.
hasn't even been active.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've had a bunch of people at the
Yeah.
live show were asking us about Landon Jackson. I liked what I saw at times at training camp, but when people say, like, you got to do this, they're seeing him every single day at practice. So I'm going to lean on the coaching staff that sees him, that they're in the building on making the decision. He can't even get a jersey right now, so I don't know if he's an answer to that problem.
Real quick, I want to thank everybody who came out to
Oh
Lincoln
my
Hill
gosh,
Farms.
yeah.
It was awesome. You guys were great. We're going to be at Riverworks in Buffalo October 9th, I think it is, that
Yeah.
Thursday night. We'll be talking more about that, but everybody at Lincoln Hill Farms was awesome.
So much fun.
Also, shout out today to the best Bills jersey we have seen.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Becky.
Shout out Becky, had a custom-made
Buffalo
Buffalo
Plus.
Plus. I'll put the picture in here.
Oh
Gold
my
standard.
gosh.
Gold
Yes.
standard.
Yeah,
And
that
she
was
let
awesome.
us deface it.
Yeah.
She wanted autographs.
Oh,
Autographs
I
from
was
it.
like, that sounds weird. Yeah. No, that was awesome. So we met Becky and Francis, Rob and Rory from Webster. We also met John and Don, as well as Vincent and John. So a bunch of people came up to us today. Really cool. If you ever see us, say hi. We'd love to chat, talk Bills, all that fun stuff. But you know how much we appreciate you all and what you do for our channel. So thank you so much.
Hindsight victory.
4-0.
Never a doubt.
All right, for Mike Catalana and Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We will catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast.